Hello guys, and welcome back to the Interloper run. This is Ronyan. And the last time we just explored the rest of the Desolation Point area and went and got some coal from the mine and left it back here in the Riken. So we're gonna head back to Crumbling Highway and eventually Mystery Lake at this point, I think. Or I'm sorry, Coastal Highway, not Mystery Lake. Not too much reason to go back to Mystery Lake at this point. We've already pretty much explored that whole region. So I get a long walk on the ice to go here. It's a bit foggy today, but overall not that bad. It's actually quite warm for Interloper. 23 degrees is the feels like temperature, and I can travel for a long time with that temperature. I'm gonna drop these food items because they're just terrible condition. I'm not gonna risk getting sick in the middle of this run, and if I were to get sick, it would mean that I would well, I guess I could build a shelter and rest in that, but if I rested indoors, I would get cabin fever immediately. Because I think we checked at the end of last time, and my cabin fever risk was about 65%. So it's a good day to travel in that case. And we'll be doing some fishing in the future to avoid getting that cabin fever. And also building a snow shelter whenever necessary will help with that as well. About 4 hours of daylight. Just kind of looking at what I have that I can drop here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop the mittens. I'll go ahead and drop what I'm not wearing here. That's all of it. I haven't checked out Katie's secluded corner yet. We can go look at that. Pretty sure I'm not going to find Katie there. Oh, is there a body there? Or she might have frozen there, I don't know. I know there's a backpack and a deer carcass that usually spawn there. There's something over there too where those birds are. And we've got a wolf patrolling the ice. We can easily go around him by just sticking close to the shoreline. In a regular game, below Interloper difficulty, you can find a bow in the secluded corner region area. Sorry. But Interloper, you do not find stuff like that. It's just the only thing you get is a heavy hammer, and that's it, and an opportunity to harvest scrap metal. That's your real only pathway to getting any decent tools. So if we go up this slope here, we can access the secluded shelf pretty easily from there. And I'm looking at my rested condition is very low. So we're probably not going to be able to haul all the way back in this episode. I may think about just building a snow shelter on the shelf and sleeping there. Or on the corner. So there's two areas in this game that have the word secluded in them, and sometimes I get mixed up and say the wrong thing. There's Katie's secluded corner and the secluded shelf in Timberwolf Mountain. So I kind of just conflated those two areas. And there might be other areas with that in the name, but I don't remember. So here's the secluded corner here. Picking up plenty of sticks here so I can either build a fire or build a shelter, or maybe both. I may not need the fire to build the shelter here, just because of how warm it is. There's our deer carcass laying there. Go ahead and collect these crow feathers. And I still do not have enough sticks to build this. I need 5 more. Should be able to harvest the meat off of this deer pretty fast. Now I just need to find a few more sticks if I want to build that shelter. We'll go ahead and throw down a fire though and cook this meat that I just pulled off. Come on, little fire. Yeah, at risk for hypothermia. We'll chase that away real quick. Okay, we're above 32 right here. Still need to find 5 sticks though. Let's go ahead and cook the meat here so we can warm up. Should be able to at least get myself out of the numb status. And now we're just cold. It did get a little bit colder outside. Yep, still need the 5 sticks. So let's go ahead and see if we can find those. There's branches over here which I could break down for sticks. 7 minutes, we'll go ahead and do that. Should be able to break 2 of them down without even getting to freezing, so that's nice. That'll give us enough for the shelter, which we will build right over by the fire here, so we can stay warm while we're building it. Okay, let's see where we can put this. There we go. That worked out pretty good. Still got about an hour on this campfire. I'm gonna eat the meat here and drink some water, and we'll go ahead and call it a night, I guess. Actually, no, we'll go ahead and get water out of this. Had a few extra reclaimed wood, so I can throw them on there and get another gallon of water. We'll probably need it for the trip back. Eat a little bit more calories and drink a bit more to get our stuff maxed out, and then we'll jump in the snow shelter and we'll sleep for 10 hours, I believe, or 9. Now we'll just max it out and see how long it sleeps. After this, I should have a really low cabin fever risk if I have one at all. Okay, we're awake. Let's drink and exit this shelter. I can harvest these off the deer, but it's going to take a pretty long time to do that, and it's cold. It's very cold outside, so it would be a bad choice. Unless I can get another fire going, it would be a bad choice. And I remembered I don't even have any fuel to start a fire, so yeah, we're gonna have to move on for now. There's another corpse here. We can pick the feathers from around him. And let's cliff jump down here to the main part of the trail. There we go, easy. We just have to come out of the blocked highway here and then turn back up. This place can be kind of confusing to exit if you're not used to it. You can't just walk down the road, you have to hit a trail right up here. And you just always want to look for the truck. If you have the trail with a truck, and that's probably your way out. Pretty sure I've checked this. We'll just... I'm pretty sure I got that. And in my experience, coming back from this run to the desolation point is one of the most dangerous periods of the run. I've been attacked by wolves multiple times. Just about everything has happened to me when I was coming back from doing the forge. So maybe this will be better, maybe it won't, but we'll see how it goes. Taking a little shortcut through the snow here. I can jump back on this trail and we'll be pretty close to getting out of this region. Desolation Point, as the name suggests, is not a region you want to hang out in for a long period of time. Usually, there's no fishing opportunities or anything like that. You can hunt if you have the equipment though. So you could potentially survive there for a long time if you wanted to. Coastal Highway is a much safer region to do so though. So we got plenty of fuel on the lantern, but we've also got a torch. I'm just looking at my options here. It's like I'm just gonna burn the flare though. Got herbal tea. Trying to decrease my weight some here. Drop the antiseptic. And what I'm doing is kind of what I did before. I'm going to collect coal and then drop it back at the exit to this mine, so that if I ever need to come back to Desolation Point, I'll have plenty of coal piled up at the endpoints. So we will get back there and pick up that herbal tea especially, and the books. Yeah, there's a lot of coal in this mine, especially in this one. So now you're coming into Desolation Point, so I guess the developers wanted to put a lot of coal in this mine. So I think once we get all this coal gathered up, we'll probably end the episode there. And the next episode, we'll see how well we do getting back to Coastal Highway. And the flare's an okay light source. It's not nearly as good as the lantern, though. Because it gives more of a red light, and you really can't see that well with it. A couple more pieces of coal there. Okay, we're back to the front part of the mine here. Just have to tunnel under this, which takes a while. Now we're on the other side. And I can grab this coal here. Is that it? I think that's it. Now we get to about 22 pieces of coal in that mine. We get to turn around and take it all the way back. And I got plenty of fuel for the lantern, so I can burn it coming back through here when I want to leave. I noticed I had no shortage of ability to make my own light, so that's one reason I decided to clump up this coal like this. I like the way they design the mines in this game. Seems pretty authentic. There's even collapsed parts of the mine. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be pretty nervous going through a mine like this in real life. This would not be something I would want to do without knowing a lot about the history of the mine and when it was built and so forth. So a lot of things that can happen in a mine. You can wind up with no oxygen in the environment. You can have part of it collapse on you. You can get, if the mine branches out too much, you might get lost in the mine. So yeah, it's a pretty dangerous situation unless you know the area. So I'm going to keep 10 of the coal, and I'm just going to re-pick everything up here. Except I didn't even really need to take that antiseptic, but oh well, we'll just hold on to it for now. And we'll go back to the way we wanted to go here, which is back toward Crumbling Highway and the Old Island Connector. And I found one more piece of coal there that I missed. It's pretty easy to tell the difference between the flare and the lantern. The lantern's far more effective at creating light at a distance, and the flare just gives you a smaller envelope around you that's covered in light. So I like to use the lantern whenever I can. There's a pry bar we'll take. Lantern's the best when you can use it, and if you fish a lot, you'll be able to use it a lot. You get a lot of lamp oil from the fish. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to back to the start here. Got to go through this collapsed portion, and then we got to duck down again and go through the small opening. Yeah, we're almost out. You know, I thought I'd turn that off, but it's actually pretty hard to find my way through this. I'm not seeing too much, so I might need to relight that. No, it looks like I made it. I won't need the extra light. A lot of light comes out of this doorway. So let's drop the burned out flare. We'll drop the crowbar too, since we don't need two of them. Still got two hacksaws on me. And we'll drop this extra antiseptic. So we'll continue on in the next episode, guys. Thank you for watching. Leave me a comment.